Hello everyone, welcome to a new series on my channel. I'm looking at the lords of all the houses as they are placed in your chart. In this video, it's the first lord, lord of your ascendant. How is he placed in your chart and what does it mean for your destiny? So if you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below, and if the video is good for you, give it a thumbs up. Let's begin. Firstly, everybody who are the house lords in Vedic astrology, you should understand that many signs have more than one lord, and you will need to check both to understand your destiny from that house. Secondly, we are using sign for a house system where a whole rasi or sign is contained in each house. This is most important. If you should attempt to use an equal house system, it just won't give you the correct result. A house in Vedic astrology is called Bhava, and the Bhavesha is the lord of the house. You should understand that this lord gives you the karmic endpoint of that house, but most important will always be planets in the house itself. The lord of Aries is Mars, of Taurus it's Venus and the moon. For Gemini it's Mercury, for Cancer the moon, for Leo the sun, and for Virgo it's Mercury and Rahu. For Libra, the lord is Venus. For Scorpio, it's Mars and Ketu. For Sagittarius, Jupiter. For Capricorn, Saturn. For Aquarius, Saturn and Rahu. And for Pisces, Jupiter and Ketu. Now on this video, we're discussing the lord of the first house, which is known as the Lagnesa. You should know what the Lagnesa is really doing in your chart. First of all, this Lagnesa wants you, which is represented by this first house, your actual physical body, to survive. Therefore, his most interesting factor in life is to get nourishment. He wants nourishment from the house in which he resides. Lagnesa, first house lord, represents Agni, or the fire element. This is very important. Wherever he has gone in your chart, he has taken fire. He has taken consumption. There's a burning going on in that house. Therefore, in some way, the greed, if you like, or the Agni element of this Lagnesa will deplete something in the house in which he resides. The one exception being first house, as I will discuss on the video. Lagnesa, lord of your first house, is also representing your intelligence. So where he is gone in your chart shows where your intelligence is applied. Where do you make the very best decisions? Where do you get the very best out of your native intelligence? Finally, because Lagnesa is you, whichever house he's placed in the chart becomes important to you, becomes essential to you. From a really early age, you are pulled towards situations represented by that house to fulfill unfinished karma. Check out any planets in conjunction to Lagnesa. They are essential in your destiny in this lifetime. So, with all of that in mind, let's continue on to read for the ruling planet of your first house in all the houses of your chart. So, when the lord of your first house has gone into the first house itself in your chart, what does this mean? This is a very powerful position. It can be very auspicious. Don't forget, you must judge by the other planets in the house and aspects to the house. They will change quite a lot. But here's a very big blessing. Normally, first house lord is like Agni. He's just fire. But in this case, he actually represents Surya himself. So this is a blessing of the sun god, of Surya. It's a very special empowerment. The lord of the first in the first affects your health strongly, especially your immune function. It's a blessing in a way, giving a strong immune function, because this lord is at home. He's in his own house. He's king of his own castle. He's feeling comfortable and relaxed. So a strong immune function can often be seen. In addition, this is your body itself. So the first lord here makes that particular area of your body, ruled by the sign here, very strong. If it's Aries first house and Mars is here, then your brain is strong. Your brain gets extra vitality, and actually this can help you all through life with your memory, etc. If it's Venus in this first house in Taurus, you can have a very beautiful face, and your face is almost illuminated by this Venus. Mercury in Gemini in the first house, your shoulders and arms are strong. Moon in Cancer in the first house, your chest area is strong. Sun in Leo, first house, then your belly area is strong. Your midriff area is strong and resilient. This is excellent, by the way, if you would want to be anything like a belly dancer, by the way. It gives you fitness in that area. Virgo in the first house and your digestion is strong. Libra and your hips are strong. Scorpio and your internal sexual organs are strong. Sagittarius, thighs are strong. Capricorn, knees are strong. Aquarius, calves are strong, supporting you. And Pisces, feet are strong and they are blessed, taking you in the right direction in life. Lagna Lord in the first house also gives you confidence, gives you high self-esteem. You believe in yourself and you like attention because you like people focused on you. Seventh house is other people. You want them focused on you. That makes you feel good. So if there is affliction, there can be a little bit of high egoism here. You can love being center of attention a little too much. Something to be aware of. You like things to go your way, and that's another thing. This can alienate other people. You have to take other people with you, not alienate them. Good factor is you can be very dexterous here. You can have competent hands. You can get things done in life. You can be a very creative person. Lagna Lord in first house can make you a great business person, very enterprising. You have a successful direction in life. Whatever you take up, you can succeed. It's a very blessed position. As I say, you have the blessings of Surya, of the sun himself. You're a superb learner. You start early in life to learn. You want knowledge, and this blessing of Surya can give you supreme high knowledge depending on the sign and the other aspects. Often the first lord in the first house gives very high willpower, high decision-making ability. So you do get things done. You move ahead with your life. You don't tend to get too stuck in life. You're always going on to the next phase swiftly as soon as you can. Is there any problem with this first house lord placement in the first house? Yes, there is. It can impact relationships a little bit. Now, Sage Parashara talks about this quite a lot. He talks about the first house lord affecting relationships. It gives a certain fickleness in relationships, but particularly in cardinal signs, not so much fixed, mutable signs. Fixed signs, not so much. Mutable signs, a little bit, but cardinal signs like Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, it can give a changeable factor in your relationships. But still, for all signs, you can be happy in your relationships because you have that very special blessing. But you may have more than one marriage. When the first lord in your chart has gone into the second house, in this way, you can have many blessings to do with your finance and your resources. Basically, because the 11th house is 10 houses away from here, you can get a definite increase in income all through your life. From a very early age, you enjoy work and you gain resources. A real increase in income can often be seen. You enjoy learning, you enjoy school life, and very often you have a happy disposition. Very often you have strong religious or dharmic tendencies. Your family is incredibly important to you and you're always engaged in family affairs of some sort. You're never without contact with your family of origin. Often you can live near to them or have close contact, even daily contact sometimes. They make great demands on you, but actually you enjoy fulfilling these duties. Lagnesa here gives strong moral values, often coming from your early childhood experience. And because the 7th house is 6 houses away, you can have quarrels, contentions with a partner about these values sometimes. And you're extremely fussy about who you connect to in relationships. You have very high standards about relationships and you're always feeling a little bit dissatisfied. You can tend to put your partner on a pedestal, and when they can't live up to your high standards, there can become difficulties. 7 houses away from the 2nd house, we come to the 8th house of a crisis. So there's always a crisis going on in a relationship. It can be very jumpy early on in your life, but with time and patience, you can work through these. Family is all important to you, so that generally takes you through some of these jumpy periods in your life. Because the 8th house is having this chilled effect from the fire being in the 2nd house, what tends to happen is there can be difficulties in business partnerships with wills, legacies, etc. Far better to be your own boss in a business sometimes if you have 1st Lord, 2nd house. But all sorts of family financial factors can become difficult if the 1st Lord is malefic. So certainly when you have malefics as your Lagnesa, Lord of the 1st house, like Mars, Shani, Rahu, Ketu going into this 2nd house, you have to try to find patience, tolerance, and a little bit more accepting in your intimate relationships. This will often save the day. The 1st Lord gone to the 3rd house, you can have very many talents in life, multiple talents, multiple skills, and you are always topping up on these all through your life. You can have multiple streams of income also. Now, 3rd house is a sort of battlefield. It's where the weapons are drawn. Don't get afraid of this, because actually it's the pen that is the mightier weapon than the sword here. Communication is your forte, is your strength, and you can defeat many enemies with expert communication. So you can go into all of these fields where you have to battle with your communication, like law, etc. You can be excellent in these fields. You can have great success in media fields, journalism, writing, novel writing, etc. In fact, Sage Parashara talks about great respect in society if there is a well-aspected Lagnesa in this house. Now, Lagnesa going into this house means that the coolest place away from the Agni element, that is Lagnesa, will be in the 9th house. So father relationship can be impacted. There can be a cooling effect here. There can be distance. There can be some lack of deep communication with the father, or some deep misunderstandings sometimes, particularly when it's a malefic like Mars, Shani, Rahu, Ketu as your Lagnesa. In a similar way, there can be difficulties in foreign lands, foreign travel, and in higher education scene at some point in the life, especially once again when there are malefics as the Lagnesa. 5 houses away is the 7th house, so there's a lot of drama in relationships. The fire element takes itself here. So there can be misunderstanding, quarrels, difficulties, but also many relationships. There can be always new attractions. There's a lot of passion in your life in regard to sexual and personal relationships. Finally, with the Agni element burning up in this house of siblings, there can be disputes with your siblings, or one sibling has trouble. One sibling has need of your help, and you need to give effort and energy to this. So at least one sibling can be affected by this aspect in your chart. When the Lagnesa, the 1st house lord, has gone into the 4th house of your chart, it's travelled 4 houses away, Kendra house. This can be helpful to you in some ways. It gives a blessing, in fact, according to Parashara, that you can have paternal and maternal happiness. Early home life is essential. If there are malefics aspecting this 4th house, early experience stays with you, as it does with everybody, but it's particularly vital for yourself. The home is the heart of your karma, whether it's your parental home or your own home later in life. Lagnesa placed in this 4th house can give you blessings from your siblings, older and younger siblings. Why is this? Because the 2nd house to the 3rd house is actually here, and the 5th house from the 11th house is here. So many blessings, many feelings of support and closeness to your siblings can be seen with this Lagnesa in the 4th house. Now, the 4th house is where the heart is, where the happiness is in life. And from the 7th house, this is 10 houses away. So this can give happiness and even bliss in marital life. Unless there is affliction to your Lagnesa, this can be often the case. Lagnesa 4th house makes it easy for you to get into intimacy with people. You just break down those emotional barriers. You'll be a little bit touchy-feely, if you know what I mean. You are very easily getting into seductive situations, sometimes depending on the other aspects to this house. You easily bond with other people. So the heart is warm in the home and the home is cozy with this Agni factor in your home. But where is the chill felt? The chill is felt 7 houses away in the 10th house of your chart. This warm feeling you want to take into your office, into your career, and often it just doesn't work that way. You can feel a bit alienated in your career situation. Very often people with this Lagnesa 4th house do far better working from home. Sometimes, depends on the aspects to this Lagnesa, but also you shouldn't be traveling too far to work. That can really stress you and really make you quite upset in a way, because home is where your heart is and you don't want to be too long away from that nice cozy feeling of relaxation. Sometimes you can actually make office space homely, but it's not always going to happen because the chilling effect of this 7th house from the 4th house. But it doesn't mean that you do not have career success. It's just, are you really happy there? You have to make adjustments. And that's the thing. In fact, for some people with Lagnesa in the 4th house, actual home affairs can be your career. You can go into property dealing, landed interests, selling, buying homes, all of these things, or even decorating, doing home improvements. Anything to do with the actual home structure of the house can be profitable to you. 4th house is a house of early education, so education can go very well for you with this 4th house Lagnesa, and you can be an excellent teacher. Even teaching from your home base, tutoring can be also successful. Lagnesa, first lord gone into the 5th house, is a powerful position. It gives you a real influence on other people. You have an influence on other people through your whole persona, through your whole personality, and through your way of working in the world. You make a good first impression. You are particularly making strong impression on those in positions of power, like the boss, etc. You could rise also to be a leader of sorts with this position. It's a very honourable position for this Lagnesa lord to be. You always keep your word. You're very honourable. You are very trustworthy. Unless there is affliction, it is certainly what you aim to be. Very often you're interested in speculation of some sort, in stock exchange and all sorts of gambling activities with this first lord here. You like to take a risk. You like to step out into the unknown. You are quite daring in life. You have to see aspects to the first lord to see how well that will actually go for you. You have enormous creativity with this Lagna Lord 5th house. You're always trying to be the first to find some new solution to problems. This is what makes you so important to your boss. They see how ingenious you are, and this gets you noticed. You can love education with this placement also. You can be a teacher. You can be somebody who looks after children in some other capacity, and children are very karmic in your life. Now, sometimes first child can have problems here. This can be seen particularly sometimes in male chart, that first child can have difficulties because the Agni element has come burning into this 5th house. But you have to see aspects. You have to see planet itself, because many mitigating factors will be there. 5th house is the house of your past good karmas coming back to you. So you definitely benefit from this in your career in particular. And you have actually a very strong desire to get status in life and every chance of achieving this. This is a house of artistry and creativity, so many artistic talents can be there in drama, performing arts, music, all of these things, dance even. You're extremely innovative and you can actually become famous, even some of you, in these fields. Learning and education and acquiring knowledge becomes essential to you when your Lagnesa has gone here. If there is affliction, though, there can be breaks in your education and much difficulty with this. But with support of benefics, or with a benefic lord here, you can get excellent in your education and much enjoyment. You're a really happy learner with this position. Lagnesa gone into the 6th house of your chart. There will be challenges in your life, but my goodness, are you ready for these? You've taken birth with almost a sword in your hand, ready to cut through all the complications of life, and you're more than ready to deal with them. There can certainly be health problems when the Lagnesa, which is your whole body, has come into this house, but that will depend on the nature of the Lagnesa itself and planet supporting. The more benefics are in this house with the Lagnesa, the better. Or benefics aspecting here can take away a lot of trouble from this placement. There are two benefits, of course, in addition to you being a fantastic fighter for your rights and for other people's rights. You are actually also getting comfort from the 4th house away, which is the 9th house. So philosophy or religion supports you, is very dear to you. You have some religious philosophy or some general philosophy in life that gives you great meaning. Another not very well understood factor is that indeed Lagnesa in the 6th house brings you into contact with enemies, competitors, all sorts of litigation, quarrels. You're always up against somebody or some difficult situation, but also you get fame. Tremendous fame can come from this Lagnesa 6th house. You may wonder how on earth this is happening, but this is the fact. The more enemies you have, the more famous you are, because nobody can be famous or well known unless they have some enmity or some enemies, because otherwise, who is noticing you? You're not getting noticed. The more famous you are, the more you have to deal with these things. Now, in relationships, there can be some difficulties because this 6th house is the 12th house to the 7th house. So there can be secrecy, misunderstandings, disputes, and even dishonesty in relationships from either partner. You have to be very careful. It's not you or the karmas come home. Being open, being honest, and just saying it like it is to your partner, being always transparent will definitely help in this regard. Careers which can benefit from this Lagnesa being in the 6th house are legal careers, medical careers, most definitely healing, counseling, helping others, but also dealing with others' disputes and problems. Being a mentor to other people in difficult situations can be also there. Sometimes going into foreign lands, helping people in difficult, even war-torn areas is all about what your Lagnesa is more than capable of. You are capable of supporting others and fighting their battles, and this will create excellent karma for you. Lagnesa in this house can give you an innate love of animals, kindness towards them, wanting to help them, wanting to mentor for them. And this can also be excellent karma for you, helping those who cannot help themselves. When the Lord of the Lagnesa, which represents Agni and fire, has gone into the 7th house, he's in a pretty weak position. And this is not a problem so much for benefics, but if it is a malefic Lord, you need to take account of this. You see, when a malefic like Mars, Shani, Rahu, Ketu has gone into this 7th house, it can cause disturbances for your own well-being. You get immersed in other people's affairs. You're putting all of your energy there, but you're losing your own path in life. So that planet has to be strengthened to bring out the highest factors. So Shani, patience is needed in relationships. Mars, avoid the arguments, calm down. Rahu, Ketu, don't become immersed in unethical situations in relationships. Also in business affairs, 7th house is a marketplace business. So business partnership can be difficult because Mars, Shani, Rahu, Ketu as your Lagna Lord, trying to work openly and honestly with the business partner, you can attract difficult business deals, difficult business partners. Try to be thoroughly independent if this is the situation. But a benefic planet can be helpful when it is Lagna Lord here. As long as you don't forget your own purpose in life, that can affect everybody. You can actually have cooperation. You see, Lagna Lord is eating up the house. So it's creating difficulty. It's depleting the house. What does this mean? You give so much of your energy Agni to other people. Other people can deplete you. It's very important, whether it's malefic Lagna Lord or benefic Lagna Lord, that you watch the company that you keep. If you have Lagnesa in this 7th house, you can so easily be hanging around with really difficult people, people who are draining all the energy out of you, particularly in relationships. Another factor brought to us by Sage Parashara is that when the Lagnesa, the Lord of you, has gone into the 7th house, your life just switches around completely, goes in an opposite direction after marriage. What does this mean? If you are having a fairly easy time before marriage, it gets much tougher. It gets more challenging. If you are having a chaotic, difficult time before marriage, it gets easier after. This doesn't impact success or not of the marriage, but it simply talks about how you will feel after marriage, that your life is smoother or it's more up and down. It's the pace of your life that will completely alter when the Lagna Lord is in this 7th house after marriage. Some people with this Lagnesa 7th house renounce marriage completely because they have this feeling that so much is going to be demanded of them. Certainly with the Agni going into this 7th house, your energy will be depleted a little bit by the demands of partnership, but it doesn't mean that it can't be successful. You need to give. You need to be with other people with this position of your Lagnesa. You depend on them actually quite a lot. You like to be depended on, and you like to depend on others. Watch your finances also when the Lagnesa has gone to the 7th house. You can be depleted financially without even realizing what's going on. It just goes out of your control, especially when there are malefics in the 6th and the 8th house surrounding this 7th house here. When you have benefic 6, benefic 8th house, they will protect your finances. When the First Lord Lagnesa has gone into the 8th house, it's an empowering position. There's a lot of Shakti or personal power here. You are empowered to get things done in life, empowered to remove obstacles, empowered to completely transform your life from top to bottom, from time to time. But you have to do everything ethically. You will always be tested for the ethical and the honest route in life. But fortunately, Lagna Lord here is feeding on the 9th house. The fire of the Lagna Lord feeds on the food of the 9th house. What is the 9th house? Religion, dharma, truth, philosophy. You eat these up, you are literally cannot get enough of learning about religion, dharma, philosophy, and you are acutely aware of karmas in your life, of what you are actually doing. You are your own worst critic, and maybe sometimes that can be a little bit helpful because you could be easily tempted into difficult, even dark situations in your life. You're also deeply interested in 8th house factors like occult study, astrology, the deep mysteries of life. You can have talents here, but watch your health. Why? Because the Lagna Lord has gone 8 houses away from the ascendant, and you can absolutely neglect your health. All of your studying, all of your other interests in life, but your health, you put it on the back burner. You take risks and don't do what you know you should do to maintain your health. Sometimes accidents, mishaps can occur in the Mahadasha of the Lagna Lord in this house, or any other planet also with the Lagna Lord in this house. So always take great care and be cautious during these Mahadashas. The thing is that the Lagna Lord in the 8th house is courageous, is fearless, and takes risks in life. Depends what the planet is. If you've got Venus in this 8th house, Lagna Lord, you take risks in your relationships. You can be seduced easily or seduce others as well. If you've got Jupiter here, you can take risks in your education and so on. You can actually judge like that. But this risk-taking is not always negative, far from it. Lagnesa in this house, particularly by the way of malefic, you are very brave, very calculated taking these risks. You can be a surgeon, doctor, nurse, anybody taking necessary risk to save life. You can be a spy for your country, detective, somebody, police force, firefighter, taking dangerous risks, but they are necessary and well thought out. So it's a brave position for the Lagna Lord. In relationships, though, the risk-taking goes into another area altogether. Parashar has actually talked about this, that this Lagnesa in this 8th house can be attracted to married people, or married people can be attracted to you. Something to be a little bit cautious about, careful about, I would definitely suggest. Watch your temper too, because the hidden stresses and risk-taking and living a bit on the edge of this Lagna Lord 8th house can lead to explosive temper tantrums and can actually cause damage to ongoing friendships, relationships, and even business relationships. Finally, as regards business affairs, you can be very cutting edge, very daring in all your business dealings here. You can have a very successful business partnership if there are benefics aspecting. You must have benefics with the Lagna Lord or aspecting this 8th house to get the best financially. Once again, stocks and shares, all of these risk-taking factors, you can be very attracted to them with Lagnesa here, but you need benefic aspect to have good outcome. When the Lagnesa has gone into the 9th house, it's a sign of good fortune in your life. But when will you get the good fortune? It depends who is the planet. If it's a sun as your Lagnesa in this house, you are born fortunate. You get fortune from the beginning of life. It's a blessing of Surya. If it's a moon, fortune increases after the age of 24. If it's Mercury, after education. If it's Saturn after 36, fortune increases. If it's Mars after 28. And if it's Venus, a special thing, fortune changes after marriage. A bit similar to the Lagnesa in the 7th house. If you are happy before marriage, after marriage, you're going to have some ups and downs to maintain the happiness. If you are miserable before marriage, marriage should increase happiness in your life. But it's not a guarantee of the success, failure of the marriage, just how your emotions will change. If Jupiter is your Lagnesa gone into this 9th house, you will have increase of fortune after you have children. If you have Rahu, Lagna Lord here, fortune changes when you go into foreign land. If you have Ketu, when you take a definite spiritual path, everything changes for you. Special factor about having malefic Lagna Lord in this 9th house of Bhagya, good fortune. It's this: you may get the good fortune, Mars after 28, Rahu, by the way, is after 40s, and Shani after 36, but as soon as you become unethical, Mars, aggressive, arguing, anger, violence, anything where you're arguing and causing a fighting atmosphere. Shani, where you're dishonest, taking shortcuts. Same for Rahu. Ketu, where you're not bothered anymore, not doing that regular service. It all changes. So a conditional factor about Malefic's 9th house, you have to be honest, you have to be ethical, you have to be pure to maintain the good fortune. Other fortunate factors about this 9th house Lagnesa is that you get support from the boss, from superiors, and many work opportunities come to you throughout your life. And of course, marriage can be favorable too, because the 11th house from here is the 7th house. You can have gain after marriage, and fortune comes to you from your spouse. Lagnesa, the fire Agni in this 9th house, means that the 3rd house has cooled down, and this can be useful to you. It's a house of hands and skills, so you can have many practical skills, many artistry, musical skills also by this. You can have great communication skills. You love philosophy and you love to communicate, even argue about all of these things. You have a great charm in your speaking voice as well. So in your academic life, you can go far with this aspect. You can be a great debater. In addition, though, there's a little bit of manipulation in your communication. Are you being honest? Are you just twisting things to get things your way? Be careful. You know you have the tendency for this. Be careful because, as I've said, especially with a malefic lord here, it can become very dangerous. So use your power of persuasion wisely if you have Lagnesa in this house. It's a great gift given to you. Use it for the good of the world. Finally, of course, this is a house of foreign land, and the fourth from it, home, is also foreign land. 12th house. Many times I've seen Lagnesa, 9th house. You can settle in a foreign land, live there, become a citizen, or at the very least have a lot of travel into foreign land, which is generally extremely fortunate for you. Lagnesa gone into the 10th house. You love to work. Work is the focus of your life. Work is the blessing given to you. You have a job to do in this world, and it is your whole purpose to get on with this. When the Lagna Lord, Lagnesa, has gone into the 10th house of your chart, there are definite blessings from your father or your father's family. No matter what other factors happen with your father, there are blessings from his line and from his family coming to you in this lifetime. Why? Because this is actually the 2nd house to the 9th house. You get sustenance from father's line in this lifetime. Lagna Lord, Lagnesa, 10th house gives you the blessings of Surya, no matter who is your Lagna Lord, but especially if it is Leo rising with the sun here, it's a very special blessing. It gives you honor, power, leadership skills, and the favor of all rulers. You can get great success in your career and enormous prominence. But for everybody, no matter what is your Lagna Lord, there is success guaranteed here, but there is a condition to this success. You have to put in the effort. It's the house of karma, working. If you do not work, if you slack in any way, and most importantly, if you stop giving 100%, if you stop the focus and you take your career for granted, it will be lost in the snap of a finger. The 1st house is 4 houses away, so this can give actually fame after death. This can extend your fame beyond this mortal body. But once again, you have to have that effort. Any lack of focus and trouble will come. So it's 100% extra focus is needed for the blessings of Surya on you if you have your first lord. 10th house. But there is great reward for your effort. Parashara has talked about the first lord in the 10th house is giving great self-earned wealth, because the 2nd house to this house is the house of increase of income. So working almost 24/7 is a joy to you, and the rewards will be enormous financially. It's up to you. More effort, more reward. Less effort and just everything falls away. But it's a house of karma, so complete honesty, being above board in every way is necessary. If you are a business person working for somebody else, it doesn't matter. You must have honesty in your profession, honesty in your dealings. Any dishonesty, and Saturn is the Karaka here, immediately difficulties come your way. There can be a total fall from grace. Very often government officials look on you with favor. Government supports you. Superiors, bosses support you. Everybody is impressed by your dedication. And as I say, you get fame, promotion, and enormous help from people in power by this position. Now the 7th house away from the 10th is the 4th house. This is where the chill comes. The fire has gone into here and the chill comes into the 4th house. What does this mean? Well, I've seen, strangely enough, very often I've seen this mother relationship can be a little bit difficult. There can be a little bit of lack of emotional warmth, or if that is not there, there's a great difference of opinion with mother. There's some difficulty with that early family environment with the mother, not the father, with the mother. And also, this is about property deals. Sometimes you can get inheritance. Property comes to you from this, but maintaining the property becomes a burden to you. It becomes difficult. On the other hand, if you have benefics here aspecting 10th house, you can become a wheeler dealer in landed interest, property matters, and that can be successful for you. When the Lord of your first house, your Lagnesa, has gone into the 11th house of your chart, there are many good fortunes here. It shows that you get what you want in life, that many gains and prosperity factors come to you by dint of your karmas. But for 4 ascendants, it's more of a struggle. These are the cardinal ascendants: Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Why is this? Because 11th house is Badaka house, obstacle house for these ascendants. So what happens when you have Aries rising, Cancer rising, Libra and Capricorn, and you have Lagnesa in this 11th house is there's so many obstacles, but you're pushing back the wall, you're angry, you're agitating, you're aggressive, you're always feeling that you've got to push and pull to get anything in life. You put in so much effort that sometimes it creates more obstacles than are actually there. But still, when there are benefics aspecting here, helping this first Lord 11th house, there is gain for everybody. Friends help you. People come to your rescue. You are always getting out of sticky situations with the help of other people. Best of all, Lagna Lord going into the 11th house shows that you know how to solve problems. You're very creative. You can solve other people's problems. This can make you a superb guide, mentor, counselor to other people. And this is most appreciated. You can get fame also from this position, just like Lagna Lord in the 10th house. People promote you, push you forward, like you, are attracted to you, and therefore you feel always like somebody's got your back. It's quite a helpful feeling. Lagnesa in this 11th house makes you want to make a difference in society. You feel this pull to do something for the greater good in society, and you should definitely follow this. Sometimes you may be attracted to politics or to all sorts of social justice factors. Whatever it is, you have to go down this route at some point in your life. You have to give back as you gain so much. You have to make sure that your ideals are pure, because this is the house of idealism, having high ideals in life. You are very much wedded to these ideas, and if they are in any way compromised, becoming unethical, you have to be careful. Watch the friends who you associate with. You must associate with people with the highest ethics, or bad fortune could come to you, because you will lose the blessing of this position if you compromise on the highest ethical standards. Now, because the 7th house of your chart is 5 houses away to this 11th house, you can have many attractions, many love affairs, many marriages sometimes, but certainly you can have many different attractions in life. It's really important to focus yourself on finding a deep friendship in your relationship. When you're on the same wavelength as your spouse, that's the only time when you can get that true bond and that true happiness. You need to have friendship in your relationship first and foremost. Because you get so many gains in life, so many increase in income and fortune by this position, it's important that you nourish the 12th house. 12th house is giving away, charity. So giving away what you have will bring more to you. This is often seen with this position. And the Lagna Lord has gone to the 12th house. You're a person who needs a lot of seclusion in life, a lot of privacy in life, but it may be hard to get that depending on what the planet is. The most important thing is it a benefic Lord or is it a malefic Lord? Benefics are Venus, Moon and Jupiter, Mercury also. Malefics are Shani, Rahu, Mars and Ketu. A benefic Lagna Lord gone into the 12th house gives you many gains from foreign lands, many gains from support from other people behind the scenes. You bring enemies around to your way of thinking. You don't keep enemies for long. You have a great intuition. You have psychic ability. You have a great spiritual nature. You have great insight into spirituality and you help others. You're kind, you're giving, you're caring, and this brings nothing but good fortune to you. Giving in charity is your greatest factor. Giving of yourself to others, to a higher cause, will bring many magnificent favors into your life. When your Lagna Lord is malefic, like Mars from Scorpio, Aries in this house, or Capricorn, Aquarius, Shani here, Rahu from Aquarius here, etc., then you need a benefic with that Lord to bring you out of some difficulty. Any benefic aspect, or better still, benefic with the malefic in the 12th house, will take you from some challenging situations and help you enormously. And what are the overall karmas? Lagnesa, 12th house. Very often you get your best fortune far from your place of birth. Country of birth may not always be so fortunate for you as somewhere more distant. Even if it's not foreign land, then you need to go far from your place of birth to get the most fortune. You see, when the malefics bring so much heavy energy into this 12th house, it's hard to relax. It's hard to sleep at night very often, and it's hard to just let go, because this is the actual house of the feet. There's a wandering factor to the 12th house. Malefics here take you wandering in the wrong direction in life, going down many wrong paths. Only when that malefic matures can you get out of it. So Mars 28, it improves. Shani 36, it improves, and so on. You're just not able to stabilize your life until that malefic finds maturity. But don't forget though, when you have any benefic aspecting, it can take away some of that trouble. Another factor is finances and loss. Again, malefics here can give a lot of drain on your resources before that malefic matures. So you have to be especially careful early in life with your financial situation. And even with a benefic here, you can be too generous, too giving if that's possible, but careless with your money, just not looking carefully what you're doing with it. So a lot of expenses, a lot of drain on financial resources come to many people with the Lagna Lord 12th house. It gets better with time. As I say, with maturity of a malefic planet, most certainly, you gain more control over these expenses. Lagna Lord 12th house takes you into yourself, away from society. You get all sorts of mental health issues sometimes when you become confused in life. You can go into depression, phobias, fears, anxieties easily if you don't spend a little more time quietly on your own, finding inner strength, because Lagna Lord 12th house gives tremendous inner strength, and this is what you need to focus on. Finding out your true strength, not listening to society, not listening to other people. You must have a spiritual practice when you have Lagna Lord 12th house, no matter what the planet. You need to find a definite spiritual routine, mantra meditation, spiritual meditation, relaxation, any religion, whatever it is you have, you must find a spiritual path within it that suits you. A definite routine brings you out of chaos, because 12th house can be terribly chaotic. So when you have more discipline in your life and spiritual practice, you will all of a sudden feel so much more happier and motivated, and amazing opportunities come to you when you stabilize your basic spiritual self, who you are. When your soul feels happy, all the good things come to you. When your soul is just unhappy, unsatisfied, no matter how much other material things you get, you will never be satisfied and happy in life. Your spiritual direction must be given priority. You have psychic ability very often. You can lift the veil of Maya and see what's going on the other planes very easily. You have to be careful with this so that you do not disturb your mind too much. Your mind is very, very sensitive. But here's the good news. Your dreams can be of great help to you. You can even see the future in your dreams, and even other people's future also. Very often this psychic ability comes to you early in life and is a great help to you if you believe in it, if you understand that you are being given guidance through your dreams and follow those through. In addition, you can have great skills in astrology and mystical subjects as well, because all of this is ruled by the 12th house. Watch your health at all times. Stress gets to you and you need to take yourself away from society to wind down periodically. You just cannot keep on going 24/7. Even your sleep can become seriously disturbed if you do not have this period of quietude. The 12th house also is the house of larger organizations which are cut away from society, like prisons, asylums, schools, hospitals, which are a world unto themselves. You can have a job in this and be very successful. You like to be part of some big organization, some sort of family atmosphere where you are separate from the rest of the world. This gives you a feeling of security. And the aspect to the 6th house also means that you love animals. You have a great love for non-human beings, and helping them is going to give you mutual satisfaction also. Check out planets in all the houses in your chart to get deeper understanding of this first house lord in your chart. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. Goodbye for now, and God bless everyone.